Yeah, the Run Barbados weekend made a successful return to the calendar after 3 years' absence because of COVID-19. Ekesa of Kenya and Martinique's Felix Herimiaritsoa won the main events. On Sunday's final day, the 39th staging of the event was held on the island's east coast for the first time in history. And Donald, over the years of this Run Barbados, it has clashed with the Reggae Marathon in Jamaica, the first weekend in December.
Right.
It usually is. And for many years, the Run Barbados event had commanded a lot of the world's outstanding distance runners for the Friday-Saturday combination. And we see Kenya and Martinique coming out on top here. So the locals were involved, but I guess they found the field a little too hot to handle.
No, but I can imagine. I mean, it's the same thing that happens for marathons held in Jamaica as well, so I'm not too surprised by that. And I think a lot of overseas runners would find the prospect attractive, running in Barbados, especially seeing that scenic route.
Yeah.
I'm actually not surprised that it got the turnout that it did, and I just believe that it's going to get better from there for them.
Yeah, and the fact is that it is at the time of the year where there are a lot of places in the world experiencing wintry conditions. Mm-hmm. And, well, not Kenya, but a lot of European and North American areas who have a lot of distance runners are experiencing winter conditions in December. So coming to the Caribbean is attractive for them as well.
Yeah, but of course you'd have been used to it because you're in Barbados for quite a number of years. How easy or difficult it usually is for marathon runners over the years, and although the route has changed up this year.
Well, the fact is, you come to the Caribbean and you expect a certain temperature,
right?
And there are other places in the world, even some of these colder places, that get pretty hot in the summer. Mm-hmm. So marathon runners tend to understand that the temperatures are going to be in the 90s and so on, even though most times a marathon is being run, it's going to be run at 5:30 in the morning before the sun comes out in all its glory. So, which was the case for this Barbados event, and it usually is. The Reggae Marathon in Jamaica was always a before dawn event as well. So I gather that the runners that enjoyed it, George and Mariah will explain to us in a little while exactly how the runners enjoy the East Coast, because this race was usually run on the South Coast in Christchurch, going across the border or the coastline to St. Michael and towards the West Coast and then back. And a completely different route this time. And I heard Chelsea Tuak working out with George and talking up the East Coast experience, because she spends a lot of time there. She's one of the leading surfers out of the Caribbean, and that is where the surfing places in Barbados on the East Coast. But George and Mariah are getting ready to join us. George and Mariah, great to have you on the SportsMax Zone to recap what happened over the weekend with not only the Run Barbados Marathon, but the half marathon, the 10K, the 5K, and those fun events. Shall I start with Mariah and ask her, as a regular visitor now of Barbados, how was this latest experience?
Lance, it of course lived up to what I always talk about. It was a beautiful experience, and when I speak about beauty, I speak about the people, the place itself, the food. You and I always joke about my newfound love for Barbados as well, because we know you are the true Barbadian. But yeah, top class.
Yeah, George, I heard you working out with Chelsea Tuak, and she did a good job there on commentary with you. What was the experience like on commentary for the 2 days?
Chelsea Tuak was sublime in her contribution to the broadcast on Saturday, and of course Sunday we wrapped up with Joel Manning, a son of the soil. It was a good experience, very good experience from all respects where the marathon weekend was concerned. People here are tremendous. I mean, typical Caribbean people, warm, engaging, and make you feel as if you've known them for a long time. As I was saying to the organizer on Sunday evening, they couldn't have picked a better part of the island to stage a marathon. Yes, there were issues with parts of the surface, a bit uneven parts. There's a huge project funded by the Inter-American Development Bank to pave the roadway to make it as smooth as a toddler's bottom. Those works were delayed, which is why the surface ended up being bumpy in parts. But if you fix that, Lance, Donald, then you're going to have a cracking marathon course, a road race course. And all of the competitors, even those who grumbled about the unevenness in parts, they accepted that beyond that, it was a course worthy of designation as a road race path for internationally capable competitors.
Yeah, and George, I'm thinking here that Ekesa, the Kenyan who won, may have been sitting through COVID-19, wondering when was COVID-19, when would COVID-19 give him a break so he could return to Barbados and cop the main prizes again, because no sooner than the event has started that he's champion again.
Yeah, he defended his title in awesome fashion. He looked a class apart. We must put a couple of things in context to look at the time that he completed and the manner of his victory. Unlike marathons, as you guys know very well, there was no pacemaker for him to run on to the pace that they set. There wasn't even a supporting pack for him to alternate or even anybody to push him. He was lonely from about the first 100 meters of the event. And it was a private race that he ran from start to finish. And when you look at his time and on the kind of course, the first time the marathon is being held on this course, although he had devastated the field, the 10,000 kilometers, so he knew where to place his foot as he landed, it was still an outstanding achievement. I want to make a quick note about the winner of the women's contest, Felix Herimiaritsoa, who listed, and the thing is this, so we say Martinique, which would be correct because, of course, French Martinique, if you may. But she registered as a competitor competing for France. And the last name that she put on the registration form, Herimiaritsoa, here you go. It was, as we see her here, slightly different from the Fanja that was listed last year. So the last time the Run Barbados Marathon was held was in 2019. She actually won the women's section, but under a different name. And so the name this year threw you for a curveball until later when I dug and I realized that it was the same individual, but because she registered with a different name and she signed up as France, even though she ran for Martinique the last time. Those were two factors which caused a little bit of a slip with the identification. So all in all, the men's defending champion from 2019, Alex Ekesa, did the business for Kenya, and this woman in the shot right now did the business once again, repeating from her 2019 triumph. And kudos to her. I identified her as the performer of the marathon because she was second overall. Only one person finished in front of her, and that was the runaway winner, Alex Ekesa. A truly outstanding one from this woman.
Yeah, I was seeing that her winning time, 2:54. As you said, she was second best in the entire field, top in the women's division, but she topped all the men with the exception of Ekesa, which we don't see very often in these marathon races, which are open to male and female competitors. In fact, I can't remember seeing a Barbados Run Barbados Marathon where the woman that wins her category was second overall. And Mariah, I guess that would have been very pleasing for you as well, because it shows that, you know, she is of high quality and beat all the men except one.
Yeah, of course. And Alex is very, very difficult to beat, as you note the time that he won the marathon in. But yeah, it feels really good to be a woman and to witness that, because as George said, you know, she came second overall in the competition, Lance. And one, it also shows the direction that these female athletes are moving in, you know, competing against the men and performing extremely well. She spoke French, so it was difficult to have a conversation with her because, well, of course, I don't speak French. So what I did is I took my phone out and I pulled up a translator. And, you know, and I was using the Google Translator to ask her, you know, about her preparations and whatnot. And, of course, you know, she said it was a lot of work coming from 2019 during the pandemic to be able to, based on what I could understand from what she was typing in Translator, you know, putting in the work, and she was just happy to be a part of the event.
George, you got the impression from the organizers that they would have been a little bit disappointed that the race wasn't as competitive as they probably expected it to be?
No, because let me tell you, the main aim of the race, you could see, it's about tourism evangelism. That's why they put this thing on. And, Barbados has the reputation as the gem of the Caribbean. And, it's not a title that they've given themselves. It's what people have said. Various publications, some August tourism publications have said about the country. So it really is about tourism evangelism. Of course, they want to attract world-class talent. And over time, there have been world-class athletes, people who've run in world championships, Olympics, world record holders in various events who've come here and have participated. So it has a rich history of attracting world-class talent. So the organizers will be happy for world-class talent to continue making the Barbados Marathon a stop on the calendar. But more than that, they are keen to put on an event that locals can come to, that run enthusiasts can come to, and that people with ambitions for great things in the marathon can also find necessary to include on their schedule. So they are casting their net wide, and at the end of it, they want their catch to reflect tourism, and I think they would have hit the mark with the staging of this event. Just one thing to note on the then Felix fans, now Felix Herimiaritsoa, who was the women's champion. By our unofficial watch, we timed her, Lance Donald, coming in 14 minutes behind the man. No, that is insane. That again puts into context how well she ran. That there were only 8 women who faced the starter of the 45 athletes sent on their way to the marathon. Only 8 women, and she was a whole island in front of the second placed woman and just 14 minutes behind an awesome champion. Again, both those athletes would have gone significantly faster, I believe. Had one, the first surface been as pancake flat as a usual marathon course, which Lance knows so very well. And additionally, if they were able to run in the same way that marathons are organized, with different groups and running with support and, having someone closing you down and pushing, it was just them and their stopwatch. And the performances could have been even better. That said, they were outstanding, especially from our lady from France.
Yeah. Okay, George and Mara, we're going to leave it there. We look forward to seeing you back in Kingston, Jamaica in short order. And enjoy the rest of Barbados. It's a lovely place. I'm sure you'll agree.
Thank you. Definitely agree.
Okay. We will go to break now, but we still have some more to cover on the Run Barbados Marathon. And when we come back after the break, you'll hear a lot of the winners as they spoke about their experience in Run Barbados 2022.